The maker of this video, please, you're an expert, help me. Hey everyone, welcome to my channel. My name is Cletus Leah. If you are new, if you're not, then welcome. I'm an angel showing my angles of our realm, basically. On my video it's gone viral, I've had a comment and it was quite a long comment, and I thought, you know what, let me do an actual video. I contemplated, should I do a short? But it's just not enough for the depth of this comment. So in essence, I'll give a little summary so you know what it's about, and then I'll read the comment out, and then I'll give a reply. Because not only that, I feel we live in a symbiotic relationship. We're all here to help each other in this world. So this is helping, basically. So for those who don't know, I was a ex-Christian and I'm not anymore. So this whole scenario, it's about relationships, and someone becoming who wasn't into Christianity and religion became very involved in it, and it dampened the relationship. So without further ado, it's not the full introduction and everything because it's a different video. Like, I don't even know how I'm gonna edit this because it's on my phone, but we'll see. I might just upload it straight, so be bear with me in terms of like stopping and stuff. But anyway, this is what the comments said. So, the maker of this video, you're an expert, help me. I have an ex-girlfriend who is like you said, programmed to say oh, let me start again. I have an ex-girlfriend who is like you said, programmed to say God is good constantly, he's merciful, etc. When I met her, she was still living a normal earthly and flesh-desired life, and that's when I fell in love with her. She was great. She did warn me about her passion of the church and Christianity. She would always tell me how she used to go to church all the time at one point in her life and loved it, but she doesn't feel good enough because she sinned so much. I never took it serious because she never displayed that behavior. As I mentioned, she explained this all to me when she was still earthly and flesh desired. As the relationship progressed, there was highs and lows, and she started changing little by little. It started by her telling me, I want to start going to church again because I stopped for so long. I only like going on Thursdays. It later progressed to now she goes every single day except Saturdays. She also stopped listening to secular music and started watching this pastor and tried to input it into my head, saying, let's watch this pastor, let's read Bible, etc. In this time, she was still in love with me, but as the progression got worse, from stalling on church attendance to only going Thursdays, to now going every day of the week, jeez, to throwing her clothes out that show skin, it sadly ended when she decided to tell me that she wants to better her relationship with God and do what God wants her to do, and that she can't be with me unless God tells her I'm the one. One, how am I possibly supposed to know that I am? And two, it hurt so bad that it felt like religious discrimination. I feel that just because I didn't want to watch a pastor read the Bible and wait till marriage to have the intimacy that we once already had. I love her so much that I would do anything to make her realize that we can have faith in God, but not choose the lifestyle she's living. There's more to life. Any tips? Thanks. So, for a start, thank you for sending this message. Thank you for being so open and vulnerable. I really appreciate it and coming to me. I have to admit, I am no expert. I'm far from an expert. I just spoke my mind at that time, but I do appreciate, it means a lot, you coming to me with this. But anyway, it's like this whole thing How can I put it? How can I put it? There's many levels and perspectives to kind of look at this whole scenario, and I felt like I wanted to do a video on this because there's so much depth, and I feel so much people can gain from this, because you are not the only one. You're not the only one. Similar situations like this I've seen in my life. I didn't go through similar situations like the other person kind of making it like, oh, I want you to do this and trying all that. However, I myself went through the phase of changing my clothes, changing my clothes, doing like all stuff I didn't really want to do, basically. Okay, I'm going to be honest. I could sit here and go through every single point, and I'm going to do that in a sense, but I kind of have to share it from a different angle, different perspective. And you might not be most appreciative of this. I hope you are in the long run, but it may not be what you intentionally wanted to hear initially. But I feel this is why knowing life and the patterns of life and the journey of the soul, essentially, if people choose to call it the soul, or just literally the patterns of life. You can look out, there's many patterns depending on your point of view. If you're religious, your soul, literally depending on your point of view. But having a knowing of that would help in this situation. Reason being is because recognizing that people go through patterns within their life. Now, only you would know your pattern. You would know her pattern. You would know her potential family pattern of the whole religion and everything. And recognizing these patterns and recognizing the reason for these patterns, so to say, would help in knowing and understanding why this has taken place. So, for example, she stopped going because she felt she was sinful. So that alone, in essence, that's not been dealt with. It hadn't been dealt with. So when it's kind of like things have popped up in her life, which triggers that sin, then she eventually went back. But hear me out. These are patterns and these are cycles in life, and ultimately, how can I put it? Obviously, there's just a lot in there. So I am going to just focus on the 2 points. How am I possibly supposed to know that you are the one? How are you supposed to know that you are the one? And this is the thing. It may be tough to hear, but you may also not be the one, or you may be the one. When it comes to life and patterns in life and the religious doctrine, in essence, though they speak so much about love and God is love and God is good all the time, unfortunately, the actions don't necessarily show that, because love, in essence, I've done a whole video on it, you can watch it here. Love, in simplicity, is acceptance. You accept them for who they are, which, to me, though there seems like, annoyances, because obviously you've been pushed away, but it seems as if you wanted to accept that. And this is where it's like the whole notion of, oh, religious people don't truly love, not really. Whereas atheists, not saying you're an atheist, but and I'm not just saying atheists in general, but people away from the religion and the indoctrination show more love, because what I'm seeing here is that she just attempted to change you, meaning this may be difficult to hear, but she may not truly love you because she wants to change you. Whereas love is acceptance. And again, this may be difficult to hear, but even though she hasn't accepted you in your being, you can still obviously love her, but you can love her, and obviously you've made it clear. You said, I love her so much that you'd do anything to make her realize. But this is the thing, you can't really make anyone realize anything. Everyone's journey is their own, like it's their own journey, and it's about, it may be very tough to hear, but it's about accepting what is. It's about accepting what is, recognizing in life every person has their own journey, and every situation, in essence, every interaction that we have with people is an opportunity to either expand in your being or to collapse into it. So if she doesn't accept you, that's something you would have to accept. And in that acceptance, it's not saying you don't still love her. Sometimes you have to love people from a distance and allow them to be, and that is love. And it can be very painful. It can be very painful. I can't say I've experienced this in its totality, but I've experienced something where I've only ever felt one thing for one person ever in my whole life. And I was like, can I possibly feel this thing with anyone else? And I've been searching and I have not. And it's tough because I just have to accept, like, even if I'm not able to be that one with you, I love you, and regardless of if you're with me or if you're with someone else, I just want you happy because I love you. And that took quite a lot to get to that point. So in essence, there is, I can say, a whole leap to do with her. I can, break it down and be like, oh, there's some trauma there, especially because if she's like, oh, that's where she had stopped going to church because she felt sinful, and then it's like, oh, she basically still felt sinful, so she's now gone back to church to be saved. But regardless of that, that's her own journey. She has to come to her own knowing, her own understanding, depending on your terminology, of what this is all about. Is this truly what she needs? Everyone in their life, some people may need a savior, a God, an external God, rather than the power that's inside of you that gets you up every day. Well, not say gets you up, that gets you moving. Rather than yourself, your own power. You are your own power source. But some people need external power. And to them, that is the Bible, religion, church. It's going to church and all of that. And that's something you would have to accept. Like, it's tough, but this is the ultimate expression of love. If you love her from a distance, because truth be told, you may be in love with her, you may love her so much, but how she is going on like that, eventually it will chip away. So quite naturally, she's just responded and then she's ended it. Because also, you have to recognize in your life, though, you may think, yes, this is the one that I'm going to be with forever because I love her so much. There may be something that could be harming you instead of benefiting you. And of course, it's this whole religion. Now, let's be real. Whilst if she stays with it, she stays with it. But if not, do you feel it will be healthy for you to obviously stay around? Of course not. It's like during this time, she has to step away. And that's what's happened, I feel people need to experience their own version of love. And some people think just because it's coated and boxed in a religion with a God, then coming from that person, if they're religious too, then that's proper love. but that's for her to experience. She may go on that journey and think, oh, God said this person, ends up going with that person that is, of the Lord, they're religious, they do all of that, but they don't truly love her the way you love her, because they've not truly accepted her as her. You know what I'm saying? Whereas you did. You did. But unfortunately, when someone is in the cloud, they cannot see. They cannot see. So all I can say, my best tip is, and it's not easy, it's painful. If people want to refer to the Bible and pick up the Bible, this is Jesus's story. It's the whole love story. And again, like, maybe on your part, have an alternative perspective of the Bible. So you could probably get your head around it in that way. Like I said, there's many perspectives of the Bible, and maybe if you present to her another perspective, but also knowing the guise of, you can't really change anything. I don't know of your circumstances, if it's a case of you can still talk like that or anything, but if that's the case, present an alternative perspective, but not doing it in a way where it's like, I am trying to change you. No. So I wouldn't even think about knowing a different perspective of the Bible unless you truly want to know a different perspective of the Bible. Because when it comes to trying to persuade anyone or to help them to realize, it's an impossibility. It's an impossibility, because you doing your best trying to help them realize becomes an annoyance. From my perspective of when I was balls deep in all this shit, my dad wasn't into it, so he's there trying to say so many different things, and I'm just like, it's so annoying. I'm not wanting to listen. Just like, the Bible doesn't say that though, because the pastor said this, blah blah blah. I had to go through my own journey. Literally, I had to go through my own journey. I'm just like, Father, Papa, like, you was right. You was right all this time. You was right. But I couldn't see then. I couldn't see. And likewise with some of my family members, they're still heavy into that. But I don't try and persuade them. I don't, but of course the relationship dynamic is different. It's not like a intimate lover type relationship, it's family. But I don't try to persuade them, and I live with family who are religious and they're happy in their bubble, I'm happy in mine, and we live together. And that's because I just accept, it's my mother, I accept her for how she is. I love her. I accept her. It's just like, that's my mom. I'll back case. If someone says anything, I'll back case. I'll back case with the Bible. I don't business because it's my mom. You know what I'm saying? And I love her. And likewise, she's accepted me for me. You know, like, I'd never think in a million years my mom would be slightly interested in astrology. However, but because I look at the sky and I'm just like, whoa, it's the sky and it's nature, and she looks outside and she's like, wow, I can start seeing them stars. And I was like, you're right, I see, it's so clear. And then she links that to the Lord's made a wonderful world, because our realm is beautiful, regardless of what title you want to say, who's made it and created it. It's gorgeous. So we've kind of accepted each other on that common ground. And my mom doesn't try and say to me, come on, Kalita, come, let's read the Bible. Come, let's do this. No, because she loves and accepts me. She loves me. And that's where, and likewise, I don't say to my mom, look outside, look at this. This is happening in this astrology transit. No. It's just, she tells me, she's like, oh, I saw the star when I was walking. She's like, what's the stars, the 3 dots in a row? I'm like, that's Orion's belt, mommy. That's Orion's belt. And it's just amazing. The connection is amazing, but that wouldn't have come without love, which is acceptance. If I come in all blazing, like, why are you doing that? Or giving an energy of just not liking what she's doing, the whole vibe would be off. But I don't, because I accept her for who she is, and vice versa. So, you know, like, you don't need to make her realize anything. She will come to the realization. You just need to love. Even if you have to love from a distance, you keep loving from a distance. Love has no time. There's no time. But also, it doesn't mean sitting around and waiting for someone. You just need to love from a distance and carry on your life however you feel inspired to do. I'm not going to turn around and say, find an alternative, wear the Bible and tell her. If you feel led to go in that direction, go ahead. On my channel, I'm doing like an esoteric Bible study where I'm sharing my point of view. And in essence, it doesn't take away from what already is. It adds a different layer, a different perspective, because the Bible is multi-dimensional and there's many different angles and many different levels of awareness within consciousness within the Bible. So respectfully, her awareness level within the Bible, it's limited because it's what the pastor says, it's what she's been told, rather than trusting self, basically, because it's taught to deny self. But trusting self, it's your intuition, you get answers, just like, oh, rah. So yeah, like, there's no persuading no one in this realm. There's just love and acceptance for how people are and how people choose to be. And the most painful part of that is still loving and accepting someone even if they don't want you in their life. Like, it's tough and I've gone through it. And it's not easy, but I'm still happy to love from a distance. This particular person, individual in my life, I still love him. I'm not in love with him. I'm not in love with him. It's not a case of, I'll do anything and I'll go. No, but I do love him for who he is, because regardless, I value truth and I just enjoy observing and different perspectives anyway. So that's just me. So I just take it as, whoa, a big lesson, but it's interesting. It's just also interesting. So I don't know. I don't know if you was expecting this reply. There's nothing you can really do except love and accept her for who she is. And what you'll recognize is that's actually what this whole religion has been trying to teach. But it's not been teaching that. It's not been teaching that. They try and teach that, but their actions show different. Their actions show different. And that's why many people experience cognitive dissonance. And that's where cognitive dissonance is just coming up. She's just like, God's told me, there's stories in the Bible where it says God has put people together, God's told them, blah, blah. So she's just like, oh shit, God needs to specifically tell me that you are the one, because that's what she's been reading, rather than going off what is actually happening in my life and does this man actually truly love me, because that's all that matters. It's love, you know what I'm saying? That's all that matters. But of course, this love will also separate people when their universe, like the way I see people within vibrational frequencies, is that if you were to put two people together, you would hear the vibrational frequency and it would make a lovely harmonious sound. But we can't hear that with our naked ear. We need equipment. So in essence, it's like sometimes life happens where it's a horrible sound, but we can't hear it. It's just being masked by loads of things and circumstances that seem just so like, whoa, has this really happened? Like beyond your control, and you can't do anything. Maybe because that sound that you can't hear isn't a harmonious sound. And love, in essence, just you naturally gravitate towards those who match your universe, so you become one verse. You know what I mean? It's like you were at a stage within the intimacy where you no longer were one. You know, your universes weren't in sync anymore. So yeah, thank you for your comment. I hope ultimately, like I said, I can't just say, yes, you're gonna get back together, or I don't want to just be like, oh, she's religious, so just leave her. Like, it's a bit deeper than that. It's not black and white. There's a whole leap of grey. But I hope that this has helped in any way. And though it's painful for you, I know it's painful, I hope that this doesn't stop you from truly loving. Ultimately, I really hope it doesn't stop that. And I hope it doesn't stop you from loving her. Don't go out all your way and don't do anything and blah, blah, blah. Don't bend over backwards. Step back and love her from a distance. That's all you need to do. Time and separation literally says everything. It tells it all. But yeah, I hope that this helped in any way. And anyone listening in the future, if you've experienced something similar, I hope this was a benefit too. I really do. Forgive me in like editing and stuff, but I really do. But anyway, I'd love to know any feedback. If you've got any more questions, I did my best. Sometimes I do forget a lot of stuff. So if you do want me to go into more detail, if you do want anything, let me know. I'm aiming to be even more interactive and social with my community. And sometimes it can be a bit overwhelming because this particular video, it went viral. Whereas I'm working on all my little videos. People, come, please. But yeah, please also check out my other videos, because I share a lot of wisdom in terms of the nature and the reality of this realm. And I will be getting into a lot of relationships and the nature of relationships in our reality as well, and the purpose for it. Because sometimes when it comes to relationships, you're not meant to be together. It's purposely for expanding. So this also could be the case. So do stick around. If you'd like, do stick around, because there's just so much more to it. And I feel ultimately, knowing this reality, the nature and the cycles and patterns of literally reality, you'd get a better understanding of literally why this is the case. Literally, you could decode yourself. You could decode yourself via numerology, astrology, dream interpretation. There's literally so many angles. If you don't like one, there's another, and you would understand, trust me, by numerology alone, by numbers, you'd understand why this has taken place. So my best advice is, don't stop loving. Always love. Continue to love, and love yourself more by getting to know yourself on the deepest level. So ultimately you can truly accept and love yourself in any circumstances, because love and acceptance is the breeding ground for you to blossom. And it's just time to blossom. You won't blossom around someone who wants to change you and make you read the Bible and go to church, because that's not what you like to do. You know, it's time to blossom, and sometimes we have to allow people to let go, but still love them. It doesn't mean they won't come back. But anyway, thank you so much for watching this video. It's so weird because I'm not on my big camera, so I'm like, oh, how do I end this? But I'm going to end it like TikTok. So follow me on there too. But anyway, Angel out. Bye.